Hello. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's round of readings. For the main part of the readings, the tarot part, I'm using Awaken Tarot. And it's by Team Rive. There's a website on here. It's at the bottom. At the bottom, I want to say it's MYRV. No, am I saying it wrong? MYRYVE.com. Right there at the bottom if you want to find more information about it. Hopefully it's focusing. And there's that information if you want to freeze frame and see what that's about. Supportive Oracle cards. One of my favorite decks. Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. And websites are... I think it's Hay House, right? I'm just a little bit slow. Yeah, hayhouse.com. They're at the bottom. hayhouse.com. If you look up the deck, though, you should be able to find it wherever you want to find it. And last but not least, I have to find a different way to do this part, but I'm still doing it the same way. But thank you for the person who gave me the idea. I keep thinking about it. I'm just not sure how I'm going to do it right now. The dice I use are from the dice shop, mathartfun.com if you want to get them. They're numbered dice, so it's like 1 to 22 for the major arcana. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool, and I use a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and then I use a 4-sided dice to choose the element. So hopefully you can see that. Math Art Fun, I think is what it is. Hopefully it's not glaring. Alright. That being said, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. All right, let's go on to your reading. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? Ooh, it's looking good, but let's see. Let's get there first, right? Somebody likes you. It doesn't have to be romance. Are there romance? There's one romance card. Well, technically two. It doesn't have to be romance. Leave it. Okay. We might pull out one more card later, but right now I'm getting leave it, so I'm going to leave it. Gemini, I think of as a fresh energy. And what I mean by that is like, you don't want to just have water sitting in a bowl. You're not water sitting in a bowl. You're water in a creek. You're moving. You're air that's circulating through something. You're not just like stagnating and becoming stale, locked up in a room. To really enjoy life, you got to be out there germinating and moving around and flowing through things. You know, that's, in my opinion, that's a Gemini thing. If I'm wrong, let me know. But, like, you got to have a way to connect to the outside world in some form or flavor. That being said, whatever the subject we're dealing with, it does not have to be romance. It could be work, social aspirations, family, whatever you got. You know, whatever you got. It's been very laboring at times. In fact, it might be very... It's kind of like... I feel like when I'm looking back, I'm like, nothing I thought of ever came to fruition, or nothing I thought should happen happened. What does we mean by that? Because Gemini sees a lot of angles. But I noticed I used the word should. The way things should have happened never happened. The way I thought it should be was never the way it ended up being. And I got the Page of Cups. There were certain things I liked about it, but I feel like I got very railroaded or very tied to things, very limited. This subject, I feel like in the past, could easily be a work situation, could be a romance thing, could be anything, but I've been in situations, I feel, where maybe it wasn't bad on paper. Maybe other people didn't think it was bad, but it was just so stagnant that it just, I just got to the point where I ended up loathing it. I couldn't stand it. And I had to break free from that. Did you break free from that? Did you break free from this, or is it still here? Queen of Fire, half in, half out, and the Justice card. To a point, I feel like you have disconnected. So for example, if this is a family connection, I feel like you've distanced yourself a bit from that to where it doesn't hold you down. Or if it's a relationship in the past and you're just kind of like, maybe you keep yourself a little bit more free-spirited in that respect. Whatever it is. Some of you, I feel like maybe it is work and you've worked for other people before and you ended up working for yourself for a time because you had more freedom to do it the way you wanted it to, not the way somebody else was forcing you to do it. So it's about restriction and control. That it was very loyal and it didn't look bad on paper, but I feel like I didn't like it. And there's something coming in again that is in this same vein, same flavor. This category is coming in again. So for example, if it was the work thing, I used to work for other people, maybe you work for yourself, but you're like, you know, I want to add something new into my life, maybe I want to upgrade on this, or for some reason I want to work for somebody else again, we're just going to say for argument's sake. Opportunity is coming your way, but you're also kind of like, oh, I don't know if I really want to do that because I really enjoy my independence. I feel a lot better about life, and I don't really want to work with other people like that again. I don't want to pretend like I care about their goals when I know they don't care about mine, and they just want to control me. Maybe that's a flavor. Take that with a grain of salt. The way that came out was it seemed very deliberate and very to the point for somebody. Could you do it? Yes, you could. You have the strength to do it. Definitely you have the strength, and you know you have the strength to do it. But I feel like, I feel like I'm looking at it, and this energy isn't really compatible with you. It's not a bad energy. I feel like that's the catch-22. It's not a bad energy. It's not a bad thing, but it's very heavy for you. It's very encumbering. It's very like, I just don't like it. I just feel like I just don't like it. I just feel like it sucks all the fun out of my life. Just sucks it all right out, throws it away. I feel like I'm having a lot of like discord over this personally. An offer is coming though. It's not a bad offer. The question is, what can this really be good for you this time? Can this be different? You can see 1,000,001 ways how it can go differently. But it's not about that it can. It's more about, but will it? I feel like this is another level of Gemini. Can you see a bunch of ways? Clearly. But you can also see, I feel like a lot of you, maybe I'm misinterpreting Gemini, so if I am, let me know. Not only can you see all these different ways of it happening, but you can also kind of take it to that next level and kind of look like what's most likely to happen versus what's least likely to happen. And the things that you want, where do they stack in there? And do you feel like you have a way to affect that, to move the things you want to the most likely part? Did I say that right? I think I did. I'm going to leave it there because there's an opportunity here. And somebody sees the value in you and seems to understand that you have to do things in a way that you feel self-sufficient, that you feel left alone, that you can be left to do what you need to do. I feel like this is reminding me, like somebody's looking at you in this sense, and I'm not saying this is fair, so hopefully this doesn't come across insulting, because I feel like if somebody said this to me, I'd be kind of bothered, but we're going to go for it. Like, I remember being a teenager, and like, there was like a list of tasks, and I feel like I was told, as long as these tasks are done to this satisfaction level, by this time frame, I'll leave you alone. But if you screw any of this up, the quality isn't good, or it's not on time, then things are going to change. And I feel like this is how they're going to treat you. I don't know how that sounds, because I'm like, I don't know how I feel about the way that is coming. I don't know. I hope I'm saying it right, because I'm just like, this is how they're going to treat you. I'm not saying that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying this is what I'm getting. I really don't know how to feel about it, really. So I guess it's more about how you feel about it. Because that's what's coming in. That may be just their flavor of who they are. Take it with a grain of salt. Initially, I feel like I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it, and I feel really good about it. Feels good. Comes in. You have the chance for a new beginning. I feel like this is a pass-fail moment. I don't know what I'm looking for here, but something isn't feeling right just yet. It doesn't feel like it's like clicking in like I want it to yet, so I'm gonna... 7 of Pentacles reversed and the Moon card. So this isn't a situation that time will tell. This is not one of those. This is either you fit or you don't. And I feel like until I'm knee-deep in it, I'm not going to know if I fit. Even though it looks great on the outside and I see this Ace of Cups, I'm looking at this situation like I see all those possibilities, but trying to rank them in like most likely, least likely, I feel like I know myself well enough because I'm like, I have to get into it. I have to try these things. I have to try all these versions. And only after I accumulate some experience will I know where they really rank in most likely to least likely. There's advice. I feel like you got to be careful not to overtalk yourself in the beginning. Be careful. When this opportunity comes in, it's got to start with action, not conversation. Either you're going to do it or you're not, and if you're gonna, get into it first, get some experience under your belt so you can make some educated decisions, so you can really know how it stacks up, which is a little scary. I know that. This is interesting too. How this is the advice on how to do it. The Knight was they're like don't overtalk it in the beginning. Don't be too much of a follower. Be careful with that. What they're saying to do to make this work out, go into it, realize what works for you and what doesn't, and then take control of it and see what you want it to be. Don't take that initial, like, this is the 5 things you're responsible for, we need this level of quality at this hour, at this time. As long as you do that, we'll leave you alone. That's not the end all of this situation. If you jump into it, get some experience and figure it out, you want to go back into negotiations and be like, all right, listen, to get the quality you want and the time frame you want, this is how this has to change. By the way, I feel like you're also going to catch on like, you know what, I've also noticed this and this and this and this and this. To get things done in a timely manner in the way you want, these other things I could do very easily that way. Some of these things are more of a challenge. I feel like there's negotiation here. You being the Queen of Swords is like actively opening negotiations to create what you want here. This situation can go your way. You do have it in your wheelhouse to make this happen. This is the advice to get it closer to where you want. Jump into it. Try it out. Try this, try that. Get that experience under your belt because you're going to find things that you didn't know. They didn't tell you, but they didn't realize they had to tell you. You know what I mean? There's just certain things you have to be in it. Not like somebody's trying to hold information back, but they don't realize what you can do with things. They don't realize what you're going to look for, what's going to make sense to you. So you have to get in there and get your hands dirty a bit and then go, okay, now I see this differently. Now I see where this could be. Now I need to go back I have to do some renegotiation here. Ironically, I feel like they're going to be open to that. Because whoever this is bringing you into this situation, they want you here because they see you as a part of the success. They see you as a viable part of the success. They'll be totally into it. They'll be into doing things differently. There may be some restrictions and bounds, like, all right, well, maybe these 5 things aren't going to work, but let's say if you're willing to do 7 things and we'll give you 4 of what you want, but you got to do 3 of what we want. If you're willing to do that in this quality and this time frame, there'll be a happy medium here. They want to work with you. They want your expertise. They want you. Harmony can be achieved, but you got to take the lead and you got to create it. You got to renegotiate things. Maybe a little stressful to do that. Maybe a lot to ask. It may be. But like it can happen. It can definitely happen. If you do that, you will strike a new bargain and it will secure the situation in a way that you would enjoy. When I see this card, a lot of times I think it's not really Gemini's thing because it seems like it's too restrictive, but not in this version. This is kind of like, this is the plan. This is what I can work with. I helped create this. I have my movement within it, but it's kind of like, instead of being, it's kind of reminding me of a kid. It's kind of like, instead of being like stuck in a small room all day versus having like 5 acres to do whatever I want on. Like if I go to my one parent's house, I could roam around on 5 acres and do what I want. If I'm at the other parent's house, most of the time I have to stay within the house within certain rooms. So it's different. It's kind of like, all right, there's still restrictions, there's still boundaries, but one of these and the ones you choose, much more enjoyable, much more enjoyable. They're not really going to understand you totally. You're Gemini though. There's a lot going on. They don't need to. They just need to see the results. Keep that in mind too. They don't need to understand you. They just need to see the results they're looking for. So, Gemini is a complicated energy. Not everybody can follow Gemini's thoughts. Not everybody can. That's okay. That's completely fine. Just keep coming back to, like, if they start giving you a little bit of an issue, just keep pointing back results. Results. I gave results. I am doing results. Results. That's all they need. They want to get along with you. They're not going to understand how you're doing it, what you're doing, but just keep using results to your advantage. Results. Use results to your advantage. You'll be fine. Anything else? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.